sir. DC. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another action-packed edition of the RissKy Powerhouse. Got another special guest in the building with me, my boy Justin Alston. What's good, dog?
What's good, brother?
Hey, man, appreciate you, man, showing love, man. Hey, just holler at the folks, man. Let them know something about you. You know where you from, what you represent, how you got in the hoops, and all of that good stuff.
Gotcha. What's going on, y'all? It's Justin Alston, reporting live from Washington, D.C. Been hooping all my life. Well, for a long part of my life, just excited. Be here with my brother. Talk about everything today.
For sure. Appreciate you for that, man. Hey, look, this traffic out here is crazy, bro.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Bro, I just sat in that metro traffic, man, coming through Alexandria, Fredericksburg. I just sat in that traffic from 11 o'clock to about 12:15. Staying still. 18-wheel on fire, bro. Literally on fire. It shut down the whole bridge and all that. But yeah, we made it. We here. So let's dive right into it, bro. How did you get into hoops? Who put the ball in your hand? Around what age can you remember, actually getting into the organized part of things?
Okay. I feel like growing up, I always liked basketball. I always liked watching it on TV. But when I was growing up initially, I always wanted to play baseball. I always wanted to play football like my older cousins.
Yeah.
Obviously, they were short, little guys. But I think maybe around 10, I think my mom put me in basketball because I was just so much bigger than everybody else. And I just fell in love with it. It was like, I sucked, but I liked to play. I liked to play hard. I liked to block shots. It was fun.
Yeah, for sure. And that's usually how it happens. We all ushered into, whatever respective sports our households enjoy, whether it's hockey, whether it's baseball, football, whatever. And that's kind of how it usually starts, being that tallest guy in the classroom. That was me. From pre-K all the way to 7th grade,
Same.
I was the tallest guy in the class, so they always ask, hey, you play basketball? You play basketball? So I get that question every day to this day. Do you play basketball, or did you play basketball, whether it's one or the other? So, starting off at collegiate, that was public school, right? Charter school. So how was that first experience for your high school?
That was the trenches. Every day you going to school, walking through a metal detector, you're getting patted down. It was crazy, honestly. Like the basketball side of things, it was great. Good program. Coach was really good. But just the life, I wasn't from that area, so just going into that area every day, it was tough. But it was cool, good vibes. But I'm glad I transitioned and left there.
Yeah, mentality-wise, how do you think setting up a school system in that way can impact, the mentality of the kids, once they get out of there?
Honestly, I feel like it's the institution just setting us up, just getting ready to either get us conditioned to be in jail or some sense of that. Because it's like we're kids, we 14 to 17, they already putting in our mind that we are criminals or we could be criminals, So I feel like that was tough, and that was one of the main reasons I really wanted to get out of there and just try something new.
Try something new, get some fresh air, actually be able to grow as a person, not only as an athlete. And that's what Archbishop comes, with the exposure, with, the education, the importance on grooming you into a man, not only as an athlete. How did Archbishop pretty much change your life?
It was great just being exposed to just so many different guys, different players that came before me. Chris Joseph went there, played in the NBA, went to Syracuse. So just like other guys that just kind of paved the way. It was just like, it's more out there than basketball just in general. But you can use basketball as a tool to get everything you want in life. Yeah, and
that's what band was for me. From middle school all the way through high school, all the way through college, I marched year round when I was in high school, community bands, church bands, Booker T. Washington High School in North Virginia. And, I used that for my scholarship or whatever. And then outside of that, getting your degree, then you can move into whatever business acumen you want to do or whatever. Yeah. And then you can start doing stuff that you want to do through the lane of how you work. You know what I mean? So how has basketball been a tool for you thus far?
Man, it's been amazing. Since then in high school, been able to go to school for free. Went to a prestigious university, Boston University. Never in my life. That was the first time I ever went to school with white people in my life.
Yeah.
So complete culture shock. But it was awesome just to get exposed to different things. Like I'm saying, like
Yes.
in high school, me like my freshman year, like I thought that was the normal, you know.
Yep.
Like I thought that's what all high schools look like, and that's just what we had to do.
Yep.
You know, but just being exposed to different things kind of opened my eyes that like it's more in the world. And going into BU, I was able to get my bachelor's and my master's.
Yeah.
Like
That's
luckily
major.
enough, it was like I got hurt my senior year, and I was like, oh man, it's gonna suck. Like, but I was able to redshirt and come back and get my master's. So that just opened up the doors for so many other things in my life.
Yeah.
And not many people in my direct family that has a master's, so that's a big thing for me.
Yeah, especially like, you know, having that next level of education to exceed, you know, your physical ability. You know, at some point in time, basketball is going to stop, you know, and having that definitely gives you to have an advantage in the workforce, or even if you provide and work for others. Yeah. You never know. You know, you can be a boss. You know, most people, you don't got to work for nobody, but, you know, having that higher level of education definitely helps. I got a bachelor's in business and a minor in accounting, so I use that to, you know, leverage selling insurance, stuff like that, starting a company, you know, apparel and all that stuff. I run all my own stuff myself. That's awesome. And, you know, being educated is a big part of that, and being educated is a big part of learning the steps of, because we learning as we do the stuff. You know, it's not really like I know it all, you can come to me and get all the answers, but it's more like going to college, bro. What people don't realize, it teaches you how to teach yourself.
For sure.
Like once you get a book, they give you the book and say, go read this, and I need you to know everything. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what college groom you for. Like when you talk masters, like how hard was that balancing like the workload in terms of getting your coursework done while also trying to overachieve as a senior, knowing that you wanted to continue to play basketball?
For me personally, I felt like it was easy because like I didn't realize that when you go get your master's, there's usually a lot of older people in the classes. Mm-hmm. So like they're learning how to like rewrite papers and stuff and do group presentations. It's like I've been doing this for the last 4 years. It's easy. Like I'm knocking this stuff out, and all the classes are at night. So I'm working out all day. Like that was my best year. My grad year was my best year basketball wise, and really opened the door for me to be a professional basketball player. Honestly. Because I just spent so much time in the gym just getting better. Mm-hmm. Like had classes at night, but I literally wake up at 10, work out, eat, work out again for practice, and then go to class. So it was like I spent so much time in the gym. It was only fitting that I was gonna get better.
It's one story that I can point to that this reminds me of this Cam Johnson for the Phoenix Suns. Yep. He was drafted I think 12th or 13th in 2020, but he was a grad student at UNC. He redshirted 1 year. And they put a lot of stock into that because of the responsibility, you know, the diligence, you know, the just being responsible and being dedicated. You know, it takes a certain type of mind to take on that workload physically and mentally. Because Lord knows, once I got my bachelor's, bro, that was it. I had in my mind like, bro, this is it for school for me. Like school is all of what it is, but I need to get it jumping because the work that you put in for those full-time hours is like you could have been putting that work in to tangibly create something. But it's like crazy, bro, how much work. Like I got some master's friends, law school. I got a homie right now studying computer science at Norfolk State. It's like these majors be ridiculous in terms of the workload, bro.
For sure.
So when you first found out, you know, you had the opportunity, you know, get out of the country and all that stuff. What was your mentality? Were you excited? Were you nervous, afraid? You know, because there was a lot of question marks, unknown. You know, so how was it to jump into the unknown?
I feel like for me, luckily, shout out to BU, we were able to go one summer. I think for my junior year, we went to Italy and Switzerland. Yeah. We played like some showcases out there, and it was fun. You know, like obviously we're going to like Rome and Florence and Venice and stuff like that, so it's popular places. So it kind of got you like used to like, okay, overseas is cool, the food is decent, like it's fun. And then I really realized like, okay, like the competition isn't that much higher, or maybe is less than playing with all Americans, you know? Yeah. So that was interesting to me because I always thought, I was like, oh, it's probably the best of the best. Everybody that's not in the NBA is going to be overseas, which that's true. But at the same time, if it's a bunch of Americans versus 2 or 3 guys, it's easy to win. It's a game.
And so with a couple of recent interviews that I've had with a couple other guys, DeMario Mayfield, Amir Hinton, they mention overseas in certain countries and certain leagues, they have restrictions on how many Americans or quote unquote imports that you can have on your team because there's basically a gold mine with Americans compared to the athleticism, you know, the mentality. We grow up in the one-on-one style. If you're a guard, you learn how to break people down. If you're big, you learn how to back to the basket, post, and get buckets. Over there, you kind of learn the position.
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
if you're a shooting guard, you learn how to run the wing. You learn how to come off pin downs. You don't learn how to run pick and rolls and all that stuff.
No,
if you're big rebound, you go bare.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
For sure.
So how was it, you know, stepping into the other side, and you know your value is kind of looked at as gold?
Yeah, man, that was interesting. Just the style of play in general is so much different. Like here, and just how I grew up always playing, it was just like, okay, I'm just gonna use my athleticism. Like I'm long, I can block shots, and over there it transfers, but you also have to be smart because all those guys, they're from, like, just look at Jokic. All those guys are taught how to be a basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
Like here, I feel like we're taught, like, okay, you're an athlete. I'm just gonna throw it up to the rim every time, just go dunk it. Like, and that's gonna get you possibly to the NBA or get you a D1 scholarship. Over there, they teaching everyone how to dribble, pass, and shoot. So, like, I feel like, in my opinion, I feel like they're better basketball players than we are. But I feel like we're better players just because of instincts and just athleticism and just skill, how much time we really put into our craft.
See, like when you start talking basketball, like, and this is where I'm gonna take it to the KD versus Giannis thing that's been going for the last couple of years. Yeah. And my thing with Giannis is, while people say, well, Giannis can't shoot or whatever, but when you look at how many different things he does at an elite level or at a great level, and then you look at Kevin Durant and you measure those skills, and it's not just how many ways you can create a jump shot. If everybody was judged on how many ways you can get a bucket, you know, Kyrie and KD are probably be the best players on the world. But when you look at all of the other things, rebounding on offense and defense, protecting the rim, switching out, getting a stop on the guard, banging with a big, running the wing, handling the ball in the middle of the floor, making the right reads. Giannis does so many things for the Milwaukee Bucks. He could completely be the anchor of the team. Yeah, sure. You can't get Kevin Durant and put 4 role players around him and he anchored them into a high-level team. You got to have certain people because he's a scorer. Yeah. At heart, he's a scorer. If you make him do all of the other stuff, you take away his effectiveness. Yeah. And that's not necessarily the case for Giannis.
That's true. That's true. I feel like Giannis, he impacts like Giannis and LeBron, they impact the game so much because they do everything. Yep. But in my opinion, you know, being from the city, KD is a flat out score, 7 foot, do everything. Like it's in my opinion, is non-comparable. But when it comes to impacting the game, for sure, like Giannis is doing everything. He don't care if he get dunked on. He don't care. He's just going out playing hard.
The defense,
and he's a monster. Like he's a monster. There's no stopping him.
I think that's what separates Giannis though. It's not necessarily like what he can do, like good or bad. It's the motor.
Oh, for sure.
It's the motor, bro. For sure. Like you can't when you give somebody with that, because LeBron don't even have a motor like that. To me, sometimes LeBron, you know, he's highly endure. He can endure a lot. Yeah. He can play 45 minutes, but his motor, like, it's just hard to explain. Like play by play, like
Giannis is giving his body every game, every day, like for sure.
For real,
like, he's a dog.
Yeah, but and I just want to correct one thing because people gonna get real petty in the comments. I think LeBron does everything. I don't think Giannis does everything because he can't shoot.
Oh, for sure.
You know, he can't. Sure. If you just put score, if you just go score, okay, cool. But LeBron can get to the rim. He can fade. He can three. You go under the screen, he can take it. You go over the screen, he can get to the mid range. You know, if you got to pass it, he can get it. He can get it to any pass, live dribble, or swing pass. Skip. I ain't explaining all of that. It's Bron, bro.
Bron is the GOAT.
It's Bron.
It's greatness. Every time, it's greatness.
It's Bron.
What is he? 30? What?
37. 37. He'll be 38 next year.
It's greatness. He's still being able to do everything. Greatness.
Average
like,
30.
He takes the game apart, whichever way you want it. You go on his screen, like you said. He's a master. He's a master of his craft.
Yeah, for sure. So when we started transition, man, you said your first couple years, you know, it was pretty cool learning the ways of the overseas game. You played with a couple of Americans, but you mentioned that this past year, bro, y'all got a couple more guys. How was that experience actually having a crew of guys? You know, y'all might not have been from the same city or whatever, but just I know when I went to North Carolina, all of the Virginians came together.
Sure.
Whether if you were from Norfolk or Emporia or whatever you were from, because y'all are away. You know what I mean? So how was that having more guys on the squad, bro?
Man, it's awesome. Last 2 years had a lot of Americans on the team. And it's just like when you're overseas in another country, like even when you're just walking around, if you see a black person, you're like, "Hey, how you doing?" Because it's good to see a familiar face. You know what I'm saying? And someone who relates to what you're going through. So for the last 2 years, just having these guys on my team. And especially this year, I had my boy Dre Cook. He's from Baltimore. Yeah. So it's like we from the same place. Like we talk alike. Everything. Well, not the same. Baltimore's different. You boys over there, y'all got two of them, boy. Yeah. They're a little different. But just having somebody that relates to you, you know, like every day, it makes the struggle of being overseas for 10 months better. Yeah. You know, because you can go out, you can go out, you send each other stuff. Because with the other guy, I mean, with the foreigners from these countries, like I was telling you earlier, like they speak English. Yeah. But that's not their natural. That's not how they naturally communicate. Yeah. So if you're in a group gathering or you're on a bus or you're out to eat, they'll be talking their language and then it'll be you guys. So with more Americans, it's more like a family, more community. It's like it's easier.
It's definitely, and I can feel that. Now when we already described the way we brought up mentally in terms of how we hoop. You know, when we get a ball, get a bucket. You know, that's the way we brought up. Like we play 21. We play knockout. Every game that we play is predicated on getting the bucket. Sure. We don't play a bounce pass game. No, you know what I mean? So when you get those guys, explain the basketball side of things. How does that change?
It makes the game easier. It takes less pressure off of you individually because if you have a guy that's like you're saying is used to that one-on-one, especially when playing with guards since I'm a big or 4'5". Like I'm playing with guards that's breaking down the defender every time. They get in me, easy shot, easy layup, easy dunk. Like the game becomes easier. It takes less focus off of you because there's so many other guys that can really score, that can get a bucket. So it's like, okay, I can average 15, whatever, but it's like these guys are like we're all creating opportunities for each other. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We're making each other better.
Definitely. Hey, look. Now I know this. We gonna go to the struggle, man, because this one of the reasons I didn't play basketball. You said, you know, you get some guards and you know you play with a big, and then you went and you said 4 or 5. So you're power forward now. But explain those days, bro, because I know in public school or coming up in high school you played the 5, bro, because you was the biggest one. For sure. No matter how skinny you was. For sure. Explain why a person like me would stray away from guarding that defensive end.
Man.
Or, matter of fact, having that defensive end guard you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's difficult. You know, these guys are so much bigger and so much physical, but I feel like that's where it comes in. It's like, okay, I got to outsmart him. Like, he's trying to use his body. Let me use his body against him. You know what I'm saying? Yep. But it's difficult to do because you're playing against a guy that's, like, overseas, man. This guy's 6'11", 280. It's like, if they're close to the basket, it's not much you can do. You can try to change their shot. You can foul them. Most of them not good free throw shooters, so it's a good foul. But, you know what I'm saying? It's just all positions. Like, you got to really try to outthink. I feel like when you get to that next level in basketball, being a professional, you got to really start thinking the game more, studying the game, because it can be done, but you got to just figure out the way to do it. Yeah. And that was one thing, like I said, coming up, you know, through high school or whatever, they always try to just throw me at the 5 because I was, like, always tall. I was the tallest one, but when you just look at the overall gist, I'm looking at it like, if I'm 6'4" right now and I'm in 9th, 10th grade, you know, I'm not gonna be 6'11", bro. So I'm not gonna be a 5. So for sure, if are you grooming me for the next level? Are you interested in helping me progress, or are you just trying to like get a 5 for your high school team? That's one thing. I'm sorry to cut you off. That's one thing that I love about today's basketball. That everybody, you're 6'5", 6'7", 6'10", they're all being groomed to be basketball players, to be able to dribble, pass, and shoot. Like, I feel like when I was coming up, it was right after KD, Mike Beasley, like in this area. So it was like, if you showed glimpses that you could do it back then, it's like, okay, like we're going to groom you to be that. But for me, it was just like, okay, you're the 5 man, go rebound, hook shots, that's it. Yep. But now it's like, okay, the game is evolving so much that they're really trying to teach all these young guys like how to dribble, pass, and shoot, and it's evolving the game and making it better. like I feel like if I grew up during this time, I would be so much better, like basketball. Cause I feel like I was so late to the party. Cause like coming up, I'm playing the 5 all the time. Now I'm a 4. I'm still learning certain things like, oh, how do I get through a screen if I'm chasing somebody through a screen? How do I penetrate and get separation? It's just like little things that I never like I seen guards do all this time, but now I'm in these situations and it's like I'm learning on the fly, or I'm trying to get somebody to teach me. I'm getting one of my American guards like, oh, show me
For sure.
You know?
And it's like that, bro. And when you start to think like, in the defensive side of the ball, like usually the position you play is depicted on the position that you can guard. That's how I pick what position a person plays. Like when people be like, what position? LeBron is a point guard. And I'm like, well, LeBron can't guard Steve Nash. Like in 06, 07, 08, he can't guard Steve Nash. He have to guard Sean Marion or Joe Johnson or Rajah Bell because of his size. You know what I mean? Sure. That's what makes him a small forward, not the fact that because on offense he's a point guard for sure.
He can do everything.
But on defense, you know, the switchability now we're starting to see. Back when I was coming through high school, middle school, whatever, 2-3, we're gonna run a zone. You either gonna run a 2-2-1 press, or you're gonna fall back into a 2-3, and that's just gonna be how we play defense. Now they sticking with man, they switching. Now you're switching. So now the bigs, everybody is groomed to be a wing now. Whether you 6'1" playing point or if you 6'10" playing the big, everybody is meeting in the middle now. Like you said, dribble, pass, and shoot. And the defensive aspect of it is something I respect. You getting players like DeAndre Hunter coming out of UVA. He's 6'9", long, guarding, but he's a 2. Yeah, he's a 2. Yeah. You know, when you look at who he can guard, his shooting ability, he can dribble, he can play the 2. You know, but usually he would have been at the 4 or the 5 coming all the way up through high school and college, and then he get to the league. They're like, yeah, we need you to play the 3. Quentin Richardson is a good example of this. Quentin Richardson was kind of that same player. He was big, he could shoot, he could dribble, but they didn't know where to put him because of the defensive side. They didn't groom him defensively. So, yeah, it's just basketball is in a great spot. Basically, all of what we're saying is basketball is in a great spot because they're grooming all these dudes not to have a ceiling. But sometimes you got to understand who you are. That's true. You know, that's true. But at the same time, it's good young at 9, 10, 11 years old to show them that they have the ability to try and then figure out who you are within that effort. So when you start talking about your best year, you played 5 years overseas since getting out of BU, getting your master's, getting your bachelor's. Congratulations on those as well. What was your best year as a professional?
I would have to say last year, 2021, in Portugal. Had a great team, great group of guys, and it was no fans, so it was kind of weird because it was like we was playing a scrimmage every game. Yeah. But I feel like in my mind it was kind of like less distractions too, because like you playing away, you're not hearing all the crazy stuff because overseas fans are crazy. It's like a love-hate relationship. Yep. Like sometimes they overdo it, but it's cool. But I was really just locked in the whole season, like statistically, like for sure, best season. Average close to 16 points, 7 rebounds. Just great, shot the 3 ball really well, mid range really well. Just like through and through, it was a great season. Like I really put everything together. Everything that I wanted to do, like basketball wise, like you work out in the summer, like I want to work on this, I want to do this. I did everything, and I just had complete confidence in everything I did.
Yeah. And congratulations on that as well. You was talking about some lows that you had as a basketball player. What were some of your low points, and how did you overcome the doubt that might have set in your mind naturally as a human being?
Man, so you know how some people, like, oh, they hurt their knee and then they hurt their shoulder or something like that. For me, I literally broke my foot 5 times.
Same foot?
Twice in my left, 3 times in my right.
Okay. Gracious.
Got screws in both of my feet right now, right? So happened twice in college, like got through that. But as a pro, it's like, okay, it happens, and I'm like, oh man, I don't know if the team gonna cut me. I don't know how this is gonna work. So everything is like, it's times 10 now. In college, you fine. You gonna get the rehab you're gonna need, everything. But when you're in another country, you don't know if you're gonna get that right rehab. You don't know if the doctors are really good. Because here it's like they're like, oh yeah, this is the best doctor here for your feet. Over there, it's kind of like you're just trusting what they tell you. So for me, that was difficult. But the one thing I will say is God is the greatest, because every time that I ever was injured, I always came back better.
Yeah.
It's like, and for most people, that's not the case. Like, they come back and it's like, oh yeah, I kind of lost a step, but for some reason, it's like God, in my mind, how I see it now, like, he was doing this to prepare me to be mentally strong enough for anything that's coming in my life.
Yeah.
And how I feel like I'm super persistent, and I'm gonna fight for everything I believe in.
Definitely.
You know, so I feel like during the time that it happened, I was sad. You know, I'm not even gonna say depressed, but just like slightly just emotional, just about why this is happening to me. But now looking back and like having 2 healthy seasons under my belt, it's like, okay, he was really preparing me to be as good as I can and get to where I need to be.
Yeah.
You know,
when I heard those broke foot stories, the first, you know, people always talk about coming back. I don't know if you already heard this before, but yeah, where I'm going with it, my man Mike came in the league, bro, 28, 6, and 5. Yeah. His second year, he came out. I think he played like 11 games. He broke his foot. He broke his foot in the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
He came back the last like 5 games of the year, finished the season, and averaged 43 on Boston in the playoffs. Yeah. 43.
That's sick. Yeah, that's sick.
He had 63 sick. In the playoff game.
That's crazy.
In his second year.
That's crazy.
And then he came back the next year after getting swept and averaged 37. 37, 6, and 6.
Real hooper.
3 steals and a block and a half.
Man.
On 50% at the 2 guard, bro.
That's tough.
And this will make it even tougher. For all who don't know, I'm 6'7", right? I've been skinny my whole life. I just surpassed 185 in 2022. Mike was 190.
Oh my gosh.
He was 6'6", 190.
Oh, yeah.
37, 6, and 6.
Real bucket.
3 steals.
Professional.
A block and a half.
Putting the ball in the basket.
Bruh, Mike, man.
That's different. Yeah, that's different.
Off of a broke. Okay, I said enough, bro. I just said enough. So when we started to talk, you know, off the court, as we mentioned, you know, it started with a podcast, the RissKyPowerhouse, talking hoops. You know, I started to venture into the athletes, and you know, within building those relationships and having conversations with a few mentors or whatever, I decided to start a company to actually get the RissKyPowerhouse Enterprises going in terms of actually being a media company, actually providing apparel. We got the RissKy brand t-shirts on deck. Y'all go ahead and drop the comments down below of what size, what shirt y'all would like. Go grab one of them for sure. And also providing life insurance and different things as well through my field that I'm funneling all through the company. And now we're starting to get it going all the way. So with that being said, you seem like a very educated brother. What exactly do you plan on doing with your likeness outside of basketball while you at your height as an athlete, so that when you get out, you know, you can already be in line?
Yeah. Just for me right now, you know, I don't see the end of the tunnel yet, like basketball wise.
Oh yeah.
But I'm preparing for that day. You know, I'm very frugal. I'm one of those guys. I'm saving all my checks. Like, I'm just, because I'm planning for the future. I'm really thinking, I really want to get into real estate. So right now, I'm going through the process right now to find CPAs and just get everything right, so I can take that next step. But at the end of the day, like, I plan on being a millionaire just off real estate. Like, that's my goal. That's what I'm going to do. Like, when I'm done with basketball, I'm putting all my eggs in this basket, and I'm going to make it work.
For sure. Yeah. And if you could ask my mom right now, what do your second son want to do? He want to be a real estate agent. That's what I'm getting into all in all. All of what I'm doing, all of the stuff that I'm building up towards is so that I can get a property with 25%.
For sure.
Rent it out, 2 years, pay for itself.
Yep.
Get the second one, move out of my apartment into the first one that I got that paid for itself. And now we got 2, 3, 4, 5 properties, and they pay for themselves. Exactly. If you understand the game. If you work hard enough to get 25% at least, then you can leverage the asset. You know, if you go to the bank with 3-5%, you know, they're gonna leverage you, and then you probably gonna fail 5, 6 years down the road, or you're gonna be stuck in the rat race, going to work so that you can pay your rent, pay your mortgage, or whatever. But you want to take advantage of the bank the same way they're trying to take advantage of you. You know, making money off of money that you didn't have initially. You know, so with that little gem, y'all, y'all go talk to some people, y'all make some moves and learn some things. You know, real estate is definitely one of the biggest moving needles in terms of getting from here to here to here to here to here to here. And it's one of the more stable investments when you own your property. When the stock market dropped in '08, the issue wasn't the properties. The issue was the bank loaning out so much money to people who couldn't pay the money back for those properties. So that's why all those bankruptcies, all those foreclosures came, which then sent the economy under. It's not the loans that's the problem. I mean, it's not the houses that's the problem. It's the loans that's the problem. You know what I mean? So make sure if y'all ever start endowing and dipping and dabbling, y'all, you know, don't take out a loan so that you can live in there. I wouldn't ever advise anybody to do that. Don't take out a loan to live there. Take out the loan so that you can make some money back off of the asset. And then the next step is living into the next one. So y'all take that gem and do whatever y'all want with it, man.
Yeah,
but yeah,
oh my bad.
You good.
The last thing I want to say just about everything in life, honestly, is just knowledge is key. Like, if you don't know, ask a question. Don't be afraid to ask questions. And if you like, oh, I don't know, Google is your friend for sure. And if not, like, you can literally just get on there and search people in your area, just ask questions. Like, it's nothing to call someone. Like, information is free. You just got to go search for it if you really want to know. Mm-hmm. And especially getting in real estate, it's so many different things that most people don't know that you really just got to ask those questions. Like, I can tell, like, when you starting your business and everything that you're doing right now, you ask questions. You went out and you took a step out there and tried. Like, it's okay to fail, you know what I'm saying? You got to just put yourself out there so you can just learn from that and just keep moving forward, and then go help somebody else when they're trying to come up. Yeah,
and most definitely, and it, like you said, asking questions. I went to school for business and accounting. How do y'all think I get to the point where I can handle mics and lights, recording, setting up I got a portable studio. I take this studio for these videos everywhere I go. I take this studio and we get the videos out. So I had to learn that. It came from calling the homeboy, hey man, you graduated Mass Comm, we went to school together. How did you do this? How did you do that? What did you need to record from? Boom, 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 boom. And then it just kept the compound knowledge. You learn something every day. You know, 30 days from now, you learn 35 new things. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what got me to this point. Even with starting apparel, I'm keeping my own inventory. It's a certain way you gotta to dot every single thing. You can literally just cross off one, but you're not really docking exactly what you did. You gotta dock exactly the price, each shirt. You gotta get your Microsoft Excel. That's something too that y'all need to lock into because it's real organized. But you gotta write everything out. That's the main thing I'm saying. You gotta write everything out so that you can see it. If you try to do everything in your mind, you're gonna forget. You're gonna lose. You're not gonna reach your fullest potential. Write everything out day to day. Take the next steps, and you'll eventually grow. Whatever you want to do, whatever it is, it can be anything. But that's all I wanted to say for that. Y'all get out and do something. Do something. Whether you can sell, you can mow lawns. You know, you can do a grooming service. You can cut hair. You can have the hottest finger waves on the East Coast. I don't care what it is. You see what I'm saying? You gotta do something. And individually, that's where us as a people can overcome some of the strongholds that we're under in these walls of America. You know what I mean? We get manipulated so much because we don't have any ownership. You know, you can't call any shots. You can't do what you want to do if you're not a boss. Dame Dad said that, didn't he? Sure. You know, so that's one of those things that you got to do. You got to make sure you own whatever you want to be, and you can do whatever you want to do in life. I'm Kendall Bishop. Got my boy. Awesome. Yes, sir. Appreciate you coming through, bro. Sliding through. DC. Hey, yes, sir. That metro traffic, man. But yeah, it's the RissKy Powerhouse. We back for another one. Hey, I appreciate y'all coming through. If y'all made it this far in the video, y'all should definitely leave the video a like, drop a comment, show some love to my boy Justin. Subscribe to the channel if y'all new. Catch me back for the next one. Thank y'all.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. DC.